Welcome to the podcast, Leading and Growing Your Real Estate Business by Coach James Short. This podcast is designed to help you with strategies, insights, and ways to increase sales, build and lead high-performing teams, and ultimately grow your business. Your host, James Short himself, also shares some of his secret sources on how he helps his own clients achieve business growth quickly and easily. James has been coaching those in the real estate and property industry for close to 10 years now, and his clients keep on saying, since working with James, their results have been outstanding, giving them more money, time, and fulfillment. James is offering a free strategy call to those listening to see how he can assist you to take your business to where you want to go. Simply go to jamesshort.com.au/strategy and book in a time today. Now on with the show.
And welcome to another edition of Leading and Growing Your Real Estate Business. This is Coach James Short, and welcome to another episode. We are truly honored to have this superstar back again. The reason why he's back again, because you love him. That's right. So many comments and feedback. Hey, get this man back because we love his content. We love who he is and how he's changing lives. It's the man himself, Jackson Millan he's the CEO and the wealth coach, the wealth mentor of some of the most leading predominant people out there in the industry from Aureus Financial. Jackson, dude, it is so good to have you back in the stables, back on the couch. Thank you, mate, for your time today.
Mate, it's good to be back and keen to have a good yarn and add some more value to the community, mate.
Mate, so true. I mean, you guys are just absolutely killing it. Like some of the clients that you're working with on our end are just absolutely singing your praises. You're out there in the community and you're presenting, you're in conferences, you're keynote speaking, the programs that you're running. It's just, mate, it is life-changing. And so firstly, congratulations and well done.
Thanks, mate. We're just keeping the dream alive.
I love it. So give us an update. Since we last spoke a little while ago, what are you guys up to? What have you been up to?
Yeah, so I think when we last spoke was when I originally launched my book, and we got to international bestseller in 8 countries across 15 categories, which was just crazy.
Huge.
I pinch myself every day about it. And I guess what my mission was, and over the past 12 years, I've been really working to develop strategies and new ways of doing things when it comes to understanding the language of money. Yeah. Because I guess what relates to your audience is that we know money equals business and money equals property, right? So unless you understand money, nothing else really works. And what we kind of found is that for most time-poor professionals and business owners, they just didn't have an operating system to help them manage their money. They either would try to do it themselves with what things that they've learned throughout their lives, from their family, from their friends, from their first-hand experience, or they'd outsourced it completely to an accountant, to a financial advisor, and being completely hands-off.
So true.
So we wanted to simplify it, and we wanted to give everyone an operating system for managing their money, being conscious of the fact that there's other authors out there and so-called thought leaders out there that have been immensely successful, but don't talk to your typical affluent Australian. It's more so your mums and dads, and those strategies just don't work. Yeah. So we created this process, and it just caught fire. So since then, we've been working on really a few key things. Our primary kind of done for you and done with you business, Aureus Financial, where we kind of work with business owners primarily to help them map out their path to financial freedom. We've been working on the group and the group program and strategy, keynote speaking, hosting masterminds and workshops. And something that we're really excited about is launching the industry's first wealth education academy called the Wealth 101 Academy. So I guess we kind of found that for most people, we know the barrier to entry for advice is pretty high, right? Even in your space, James, the percentage of the population that's actively investing in a coach is pretty small. Mm. And in our space, there's less than 15% of the Australian population that's in an active advice relationship.
Wow.
Goodness,
that's crazy.
It's crazy. So, and we realize that, like, when you read a book, I'm sure you've had this experience. You read a book, you go, wow, that's fantastic. It's really great. Learn a lot of great stuff. Cool. Chuck that on the bedside table and move on with your life.
You go on to the next book and you haven't even finished that book. Yeah.
Correct. So we're like, well, okay, how do we bridge the gap between a book where you get really good theory, but it's quite hard to apply, to having personalized, tailored advice, which is great as long as you've got the right advisor. However, it is sometimes very expensive.
Yeah.
So that's where the Wealth 101 Academy was born. So we've created the first course that's been tailored to the Australian market that helps you not only learn the principles, but apply them using practical activities and exercises, which is phenomenal.
So that's so important because I want to get your thoughts and feedback. Why do you feel and why do you think wealth and financial education is so important, particularly around business owners and also principals and directors of agencies and other businesses? Why do you think it's so important? Because they're dealing with so much money, right, in relations to transactions and even commissions and things like that. But what's the importance of this education?
100%. So I was only catching up with a real estate client of mine yesterday. We work one-on-one with a lot of real estate agents, and it's very common that they have the same problems. As business owners, we don't get into business to be business owners. We normally get into business because we're good technicians. We're really good at what we do. And as the famous saying once said, you're good at what you do, you work for yourself, right? So you become an expert technician, but you also absorb all of this additional responsibility of running a business. You've got the payroll, you've got the bills to pay, you've got your tax to pay, you've got all of these other things pulling in all of these directions. So the reality is there's just not enough time to think about it. So it typically gets neglected. And I think being that technician, you say, as long as I can make sales, as long as I make my calls, as long as I do my appraisals, as long as I get my listings signed, as long as I get my settlements done, everything else will just work itself out. And as we know, the reality of the situation isn't that. There's a component of luck that some people do get lucky.
Yep.
However, more often than not, people get caught with their pants down because they just don't have the right understanding of the language of business. And what this comes down to is a couple of key things, James. I've seen that probably 9 out of 10 businesses is running their business without a roadmap.
Totally.
And it's just that most business owners know the calls they've got to make, the people they've got to speak to, and the listings they've got to sign on, and the settlements they've got to do. However, they don't understand what their inflows and outflows need to look like, or have targets to hold themselves accountable to what they need to bring in or what they've got to spend. And it's really little fundamental things like that that just shifts the mindset and it shifts the mentality, and it has drastic changes.
And it really takes them to going from that technician to then a business owner, isn't it, really?
Correct.
And even if they're an agent within a business, they're still running a business because you still need to know the ins and outs, your cash flow positions, all that kind of understanding around the financials to have that ROI, to have that return so you can utilize that vehicle to then do your investment strategies and wealth creation and so forth. So I know that you've got 3 key areas of wealth and finance that business owners should really know to help them achieve their goals. What are those 3 key areas?
Yeah, so I think the first thing is when most people approach business, they approach it from their business and they push it forwards, right?
Yep.
So you're good at what you do. You know your KPIs that you got to hit in terms of your sales funnel. Then you earn the money hits the bank account, you spend what you need to, and then whatever's left you plan with.
Yep.
So what we do with our clients is we do this in reverse. We've got to realize that business is just a vehicle to get you to a destination. So if we can firstly work out what your personal goals and objectives are, and then reverse engineer them into a roadmap, so then we can objectively say we need to earn X in our business, or we need to do Y number of sales, and then we can even reverse engineer that down to calls. I was able to work out with my client yesterday that when we went through this reverse engineering exercise, all the way from their goals and objectives from a lifestyle standpoint to the house they want to live in and how soon they want to pay it off, we're able to take that back to they need to make 50 calls a day.
It's such a missing thing, isn't it?
Correct. And this is the light switch that once it flicks, that when no one likes making those 50 calls. However, what we like is the house that we want to live in. We want to know that it's fully paid off. We want to go on that nice holiday. So if we can connect those 2 things together, and then we can understand that there is a means to the end, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Doesn't matter how far it is in the distance, it's still glimmering there. Then that's going to really reduce the barrier for us to actually do the activity and push things forward.
Wow.
So that's number 1.
Yep.
The second thing is really about understanding your numbers. So most importantly is understanding, once again, your numbers personally. Similar to how a good business has a profit and loss, we should have a personal profit and loss in our household.
Yep.
So if we understand our numbers in our household, we understand our numbers in our business, then we're going to have a much more sense of control over how money flows. And we're not going to go, oh shit, I'm making all this money, but where did it all go?
Where's it gone?
It's going to be, I know I've got a plan, and this is what I either hit the plan and everything was achieved, fantastic, or this happened and this is the reason why I haven't achieved the result. So that's what I'm going to know for next time.
Great.
And I think the third part is really about the process of self-assessment, James. I think it's something that's often overlooked. There's too many business owners, and I guess we kind of fall into this trap as well. Life's so busy, business is so busy that we're just head down, bum up.
Yep.
And we don't take enough opportunities to take a step back, reflect, and really assess where we should be investing our time and attention. Because the reality is we can't do everything. We can't be all things to all people.
So true.
So what we normally facilitate, we do this as part of the Wealth 101, which is part of the program, but also with our one-on-one clients, is that we get them to go through 3 self-assessment wheels.
Right, okay.
There is what we call the wheel of life. It's the 8 key pillars of life. The wheel of business, the 8 key pillars of business, and the wheel of wealth, which is the 6 key pillars of your personal finances.
Wow, fantastic.
And every quarter we select 2 out of each of those wheels that we focus on for that quarter, and everything else takes a seat.
Unreal.
So at least then we're laser focused and we know exactly what we've got to do, and we just get rid of all the rest of the distractions.
And that's so important, because yes, there is so much we can focus on, but if you just nail those 1 and 2s and then go, okay, and then the next one and the next one, before you know it, then you've got the holistic approach. But that's why I guess so many people fall down, is like, oh, I've got to get to it. I've got to get to it. I've got to get to it. They don't get to it, or they try and take it all on. They get into overwhelm, and then nothing really happens anyway.
Exactly right. You just see these clients that are just treading water, and it's just like, oh, I really wish I did that, or I've got to do that. Or you have the same conversations month in, month out, where when you're having these conversations, oh, I was going to do that. Have you done it? No, I haven't. I'll do it next month. And as we know, next month never comes. So we've got to have this operating system, and it's having an operating system for money, but having an operating system for business as well. And it's just having that sense of accountability to something other than yourself. Because let's face it, we always find an excuse, right?
So true. So true. So true. So what else can you share? I mean, the 3 wheels is amazing in relation to the Wealth 101 Academy. What else can you share about that program, and how does it actually work?
Yeah, so our kind of flagship framework that we've created is what we call the Foundations to Financial Freedom.
Okay.
And what we found is that for many people, particularly ambitious business owners, that we focus on the sexy and sophisticated stuff, right? We're looking at getting into development sites and looking at getting DAs done so we can on-sell land, and we're looking for ways to make a quick buck here and there. But time shows that the tried and true strategies are the things that work, and we need to have a solid foundation if we're going to build our empire.
Yep.
So what we created is a 90-day program that allows business owners and professionals to go through a structured framework where they self-assess and damage control their current financial situation, really come face to face with the things that may be getting in their way, and make sure that they implement proven solutions to get that sorted. They then go through a goal setting and a preparation exercise where they map out their plans for the next 20 years for both lifestyle and financial.
Yeah, wow.
And then they crunch the numbers to then take action and set up their foundations that's going to support them in making sure that they can get on the right path for financial freedom.
Fantastic.
It's pretty simple, James. Ultimately, what we're able to define is that there's 5 wealth stages that anyone's going to be at any point of their life or business.
Okay.
Stage 1 is what we call financial battle.
Yep.
This is where we're spending more money than they were making. We're racking up lots of bad debts. We're drowning financially. We're going backwards. Now, stage 2 is financial comfort. This is where we've got good cash flow. We live a comfortable life. Business is chugging along, but we're just not getting anywhere fast. We're treading water.
Yep.
Stage 3 is financial growth. This is where we've got a good surplus in the business, a good surplus personally. We're making money work for us. We're saving, we're building wealth, we're paying down debts, potentially all 3.
Yep.
Now, financial freedom, stage 4, and financial freedom is a term that's thrown around too much. It's different for everyone, but we break it down to 2 key things. First one is that you're able to buy your forever home and have it fully paid off. Now, that's not the McMansion down by Vaucluse.
Yeah.
This is the modest home that you'd be comfortable living in for the rest of your days if you had to.
Got it.
And the second part is creating enough passive income or wealth where you have the freedom to choose what you do with your time.
Love it.
And then stage 5 is the blue sky strategy. Not important to everyone, but it's what we call financial abundance. So this is where we've achieved financial freedom and we've got more than what we need.
Yep.
So then we can give back to our family, friends, causes, things that we believe in.
Got it.
So the program aims to put dollar figures around each of those 5 stages and give people complete clarity around exactly what they've got to do to go from one stage to the next.
Fantastic. Wow. That is, you can just see the stages, right, as like different steps, and you can just really visualize. It's a great picture that you've painted because it makes sense. People go, okay, yeah, this is where I'm at. Okay, next step, next step, next step. And with your process and how you map it out, it crystallizes so many things. And it's just so important for people to have that education and that roadmap to know, okay, yeah, cool. Where am I, where I need to go, but let's have that roadmap to get
Correct.
there. Financial component. So important.
Because here's the thing, James, that money and finance is complex. And as a society, particularly as there's so much marketing everywhere, our wealth journey becomes so subjective and convoluted by all of these messages that we're constantly bombarded with. And coupled with the fact that there's no such thing as deference of gratification anymore, everything is almost instantaneous.
Yeah.
The idea of having to work decades towards financial freedom is pretty boring, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there's no get rich quick here. Although you might build an ultimately successful business, you build a massive rent roll, you become top 100 real estate agents in Australia, you do all of these things, it's still going to be a considerable amount of consistent hard work to achieve financial freedom, or even more so to get to financial abundance.
Yep.
And that's not the problem. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And I'm sure that resonates with you, mate. You love a good marathon. But this is about having the steps that you know you're taking to make sure that you're on the right path. Because at the end of the day, unless we know the destination, how do we know which path to take?
So true. So true.
So that's what we're trying to simplify. And once we've got that light at the end of the tunnel, it makes it easier to stick the course.
Yeah, so true. So how can the tribe, how can the audience find out more? How can they get some more details around the academy and your details as well?
Yeah, definitely. So you can sign up to the Wealth 101 Academy for free. Mm-hmm. And as an additional value add for you guys, we've actually created a 5-day mini course, which is a bit of a self-assessment that goes through 5 days of really a condensed bit of a taster of what the Foundations course is all about. You guys will get that for free. It's normally $97.
Awesome.
And then the Foundations to Financial Freedom program is available within inside the platform. We're going to give you guys a discount code. So you're going to get about 75% off. You'll be able to get it for $497. And essentially, there's a ton of value in there. Essentially, it'll walk you through step by step of exactly what you've got to do from all of those stages. All of the assessments and activities that are done throughout the program are assessed by my team. And then we'll also have regular Q&A events and live events where we'll support you through the process, along with provide you with any support that you need with applying the knowledge along the way. Huge. So it's a ton of value. And look, this is the thing, mate, that we want to spread the word and get more people on track for financial freedom.
Yep.
And the whole idea is just having a very attainable price point, so there's really no excuses not to get started.
So true. So true. Mate, that's fantastic. So definitely let's get some details out there. Is there anywhere we can guide them at the moment?
Look, I think the key thing for the guys is really about making the time to take action. So jump onto Wealth 101 Academy and have a bit of a look. So it's wealth101academy.com. We've also got a free Facebook community as well. So look, if you're still on the fence, I know real estate agents, you're either all in or you're all out. But if you are sitting on the fence, you can jump onto our free community, similar to your community, James. It's called the Wealth Mentor Community.
Yep.
We'll share regular content and whatnot that we can kind of give you the value that you need until you're ready to make a decision to take the next step on your wealth journey.
Love it. And there's so much content out there. Like I love scrolling through it and just getting some snippets and some strategies and some tips. So you guys are rocking it on the social and particularly on those groups. So mate, well done.
We're trying our best, mate.
Yeah, awesome. Really appreciate your time, your energy, mate. We could be talking all day. You are the genius of geniuses when it comes to wealth coaching, wealth mentoring, and just helping people with that journey and creating that financial freedom and financial abundance, mate. Really appreciate your time and energy today.
Happy to help, mate. Chat to you soon, hey?
Thank you.